Hello, hello, my bullet journaling friends, planning friends. I am starting to set up my October bullet journal. I'm super excited about it this time around. We have about 80 pages left in this, and from what I calculate is that I use about 30 pages a month, pretty much. Between all of the weeklies, the monthlies, my budgeting, and then journaling. And this last month I had like a workout one, so that one I probably won't do. I won't do that again for October. This is for September and October. Sorry, I've caught a cold in the last 2 days, so hopefully my voice will get better by the time I do the voiceover of this, and you won't have to listen to my nasally self the whole time. But I at least wanted to start getting the cover page done, mainly because I really don't have the energy to work and do too much of any other stuff. And I just need some mindless little things to do today and get something done too. So let's get started on this. I did order some new stamps off of Amazon. That is probably the one thing that I do recommend, especially for these ones that are more, hopefully that stamp is not cut all the way through. Okay, it's not. It's just, for more holiday ones that you're not going to use all year long. I wouldn't probably recommend it for every stamp that you do because they aren't as good quality as the stamps that you would get from like an Ali Edwards, L Studios, Simon Says stamps. But it is the cheaper version, I'm not gonna lie. So I got both of these, one for $5 and so it looks like this one was $6.99. Oh, both of them were $6.99. So both of these for $12.99. And honestly, you can't get that type of, like, you can't get stamps for that from like Simon Says stamps. You're gonna spend like 20, you know, like 15, 24 bucks, that type of thing. Like I said, don't expect the same quality though as like the Simon Says stamps. Like some of them, like I got a bunch of ones last year from Christmas that I sent them back because they just weren't as good a quality. But all right, so you know that we always start out with the Tucker stamps. We are just going to keep that going through the end of the year. I'm probably going to switch it next year just because I've been doing it for a whole year. So I have the okay. So the inside and the outside to the Tucker stamps by Studio Calico. I always have these listed in all of my things. I did pull out a bunch of other things from my stash for the rest of the setup. I don't know if I'm going to get to the rest of the setup today. But Day Stamps by Heidi Swap, Day Stamps by Ellie Edwards. I don't know if I'll use those, but I haven't used them yet, so I want to use them. This is actually one that I got from Joann's last year, so this is, this was in my journal last year, and I use these a lot. That's another good place, Joann's and Hobby Lobby. I usually have some decent ones. This is an Ellie Edwards Stories by the Month, and Ellie Edwards Stories by the Month for October. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to kind of do. It is going to be a little bit different this year, or this month. As last month I kind of just did, you know, a plaid pattern. I really liked how everything turned out. Everything turned out so amazing. I probably will get through the month. This month is jam-packed full of weddings and homecomings and sessions. It's October, and October for photographers is like tax. April for tax people. Yeah, this one was kind of bland. I didn't really love it after I did it, but then we got into this one. I love this one. This is where we're at right now. I need to do my one for next week. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing for that. And then all of the journaling. This is probably, even though it's so simple, it's probably one of my favorites. I liked this one too. I actually liked about all this month, and then for my journaling. And we have one more I need to get done. So that's where we're at today, but let's get October done. I actually probably will try and get the monthly done because, like I said, I need to like get organized before this crazy month happens. So, all right. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be doing like October and then just doing, I think I'm going to do a big outline around this and then do doodles in the middle of it. I think it's going to be like these type of my stamp doodles and just doodle all the way around it. And then maybe color some in with some alcohol markers. Like I said, even though now I'm like, I don't really have extra pages to be messing with. I can always do extra pages. I don't know. It is what it is. If I don't get through, if I don't get through December in this, I'll just start a new book. That would be really, well, if I feel like I'm not doing that, then I'll put my journaling smaller and smaller. So maybe that's what I'll do to not take up so many pages with my journaling. So, all right, guys, let's get started. All right, guys, so here I go with these Tucker stamps. We are just going to do October. Right here I am using Autumn Terracotta from Too Close to My Heart. I know that this beginning O doesn't go straight in the middle. So all of this is I'm just going to redo it all. And I didn't love how dark the orange was to begin with anyway. So I was already like kind of bummed at the color. So I'm going to let you see that I'm going to go through a lot of this, but end up actually redoing it because the O is going to end up way too close, and then the R is really far away from the other side. I don't know. The second one doesn't go much better, to tell you the honest truth. All right, here you go. See, I'm putting it down going like, this is so off-centered. It needs to be more like there. All right, so redoing, I changed to Sunset by Too Close to My Heart. Again, I'm looking for one orange that I had at some point. I think it is this one. It actually dries much lighter than what it looks like here, because now that I'm looking at it, the orange is very orangey pumpkinish. So here it's a little bit more red, but once it all dries, it does become a little bit orangey pumpkin-ish pretty much. But as you can see, still not centered. It is what it is. So now I'm just using the outlines of that to just define it. I just like that look. I like the little bit messier look. I've learned if I just stamp real quick, hopefully I get the more messier look, because honestly, when I go to stamp and I try and get the messy look, I end up doing it perfectly. And I'm like, no, I wanted more of the messier look. So I've learned just to go stamp and figure out what it looks like. So, all right. So once I am done here, I am going off a little bit of inspiration from Pinterest, of course, where else? And I seen somebody that did a lot of doodles around the October, and another one that had like a frame around it. So I kind of combined the two. And I am about to do a frame right here with my Papermate Flair pen. Again, this is just the one for this paper that I feel doesn't smudge as much as the others. This might not be the best marker for your paper. Just kind of, figure it out. Honestly, I also go through phases where I like more of a bold tip pen, and phases where I like a nice thin pen. I mean, I'm not really ever been a super thin pen type, but definitely not as bold as, the Papermate Flair. So usually I'm at like a 0.07, I believe, which is like your standard Inkjoy, right? Yeah, 0.07. So I am putting a little bit of washi tape around the edges there to mask that off, so that when I am doing this, I can stamp over the edge and that it doesn't go over the edge. I just thought that this look would be good. I did not put some down the center. You'll see here as I go through this that I just kind of, when I need to go over the edge, I use some of the acetate from the stamps. Sorry, my head gets in the way so many times, guys, and My hair's a mess. So there's no real rhyme or reason to any of this. I kind of am just going around and stamping. I'm trying to not think about it. I'm trying to just let it be, because the more I think about it, I think the more it just doesn't turn out all that great. So I'm just stamping away. So if I would have done it differently or done it again, the only thing I would have done is, here in a minute, you're going to see I have two big letters, like words. I have trick or treat and Halloween, I think, that I put on here. And I should have done those first so that I could go around those with the littler ones instead of doing the little ones and trying to put the big ones around that. But honestly, it worked out. So I love the way it turned out. So I'm going to drop in the music right here so you guys can just listen to that while we stamp. There's that trick or treat right there. So that one worked out pretty well, but I had to put the Halloween like directly above that, and I would have liked it in a different spot. So, but anyways, here's a little bit of music while I finish doodling, actually stamping. That is pretty full. I'm sitting there going like, should I fit anything else in there? Nah. And here's the big reveal. I absolutely adore it. It came out way better than I actually thought it was going to. There's a few smudges, but it is what it is. It happens. As you can see, I'm going to try and erase some of them, but it doesn't happen. This paper doesn't allow that too much. All right, so what we are going to do here is now start on my monthly. There was a lot of different ideas I had for this monthly. I think I left it in here. I was going to do like a moon scene. I just haven't used those stencils yet that I've gotten, and honestly, doing it for the first time in my bullet journal didn't seem like a great idea. Plus, ink hasn't went real well in this bullet journal, and I just don't want to waste any more pages, because I'm not sure if I actually have enough to get all the way through December in this bullet journal, and I would like to try and get through the rest of the year here. If I don't, it's not like life or death, of course, but I would like to try. So, all right, so this month you need 6 weeks technically, because there's 1 at the top and then 2 at the bottom. So it's spread over, 6 slots, I should say. I believe these boxes were 7 by 8s. yeah, 7x8 pretty much. And as you can see later, I shouldn't have went down. I do that literally every single month, pretty much. I make an extra, wherever it is, I make an extra it too long, and I have to go back and white that out. So, while we are doing this, I have been thinking more about also making them their individual boxes. Honestly, if I probably felt better today, I would have probably done that, but my mind was too much on like what I wanted the thing to be. I don't know. I don't know why I was wrapped up so much this month, and I think that's just because there's so much you can do with the holiday, I guess. It's just, I don't know. Call me crazy. It was probably the medication talking too. So, all right. So, yep. So there's those two, the 30th and the 31st down there at the bottom. This month is a crazy busy month for me. If you heard me talking in the beginning, October is pretty much like tax season for, people that do taxes. Because of the fall colors, especially here in Michigan, we usually peak around the 2nd and 3rd weeks. And I have a wedding every single weekend in October, the 1st, the 8th, the 14th, the 21st, I think, the 29th, the 28th, I'm sorry. I have lots of Friday weddings, and the 28th. So it's just like lots and lots of weddings and tons of, senior sessions, and I have fall minis. It's going to be crazy. So, all right, this month I also thought that I would do a little border up here so that I can put the dates. Now, I'm not sure if it was because I did this with the Tombow. When you see me go through, I did it with the black Tombow. I filled that in. My gel pens, and I have the good jelly roll pens. The 10, I have the 8 and the 10s, and they just were not, they didn't write on top. So there's those stencils that I'm talking about. I'm dying to use them. I really wanted the Tim Holtz ones. But they've been out of stock when I was putting my order in with Simon Said Stamps. So I got these ones, and I think they're from Lawn Fawn. And I just haven't used them yet, and I cannot wait. I believe, actually, I'm going to use them for my title page in my October daily. If you have no idea what that is, that's just like a scrapbooking project. If you do know what it is and you would like to follow along on that, definitely hit up my other channel, which is called Create with Kay. And that is all scrapbooking and paper crafting and all that good stuff over there. This I use for mainly planner and budgeting right here. But yeah, that channel is all my scrapbooking adventures and all that kind of stuff. And I would love if you would go over there and subscribe, as I'm as last time I checked, I was 1 away from 700. So we're getting there. All right. So what I did end up going with is spider webs. So I actually love how it turned out. It's nice, and it's not as busy as I thought it was going to be, honestly. It is nice and just plain black and white kind of monogram. You'll see I end up using some stars to put a little bit of yellow in there. But one thing I would love to know, guys, please let me know in the comments below. First, on that title page, would you color in some of those to bring a little bit of color to that front page, that title page? Or would you just leave it alone and let it be the orange month and all the black? And this one also, would you put more? I didn't know if I should go a little bit more, or if I should just leave it and it's perfect the way it is. I think that the monthly part of this is going to be so busy, as like every day has something, that the monthly, once it's all filled in, it might feel a little busy if I keep on going. So that's why I didn't, and I just kind of left it here. So, all right, just adding a little bit of drop shadow to those spider webs. Honestly, like I said, guys, I love that. Oh, here I am doing the black Tombow. I don't know if maybe it's the Tombow marker. I swear I've seen people do Tombow markers. Maybe I didn't let it dry enough. I'm not sure. Why my jelly pens were not right. My white jelly pens were not writing over it. By the end, it did a little bit better. So maybe I'll do another coat of it after a day or so and let it dry. But yeah. Another spider web, of course, and then my title to this is going to be done with a alphabet from Ali Edwards. I love that. So here is what I was talking about with the Jelly Roll pens just not working on the Tombow marker. I don't know. Like I said, it might have needed to dry a little bit. It was just coming out gray, not white. So it is what it is. So, all right. So here I believe is the title. All right, so here is that title that I was talking about. I don't know what this is. Like, Ali doesn't have like a ton of names for her alpha stamps, and I don't believe that it had a name. I don't know. It's just more of like her handwriting type of alphabet stamp. I love it. It is like a little bit more. I've used it before in this journal, I believe back in April, maybe. Or July. Let's see. Was it July? Nope, I can't remember. Maybe June. I used it before, but I think it fit very well, as it was a little quirky and a little bit spooky. Yeah, the E fits. I was getting worried it was going to be right on that binding, but the E fit like perfectly in there. I am just using archival black ink from Close to My Heart, of course. That is my go-to black ink. I actually think that I need to re-ink it a little bit already. It's sometimes I feel like it's getting a little dry, but guys, I use that black ink for legit everything. So right now I was swatching a few markers to see if I wanted to do the drop shadow of this in orange. I just couldn't find a good orange that I liked. It was too bright, too neon, too something, so I didn't have the correct. So I just did it in that gray, the same to match those spidey webs. So here I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do, pretty much. And I believe I decide, I do take a few bats. That's what it was. A few bats from that stamp set. I didn't like that one. That one had like the little face. I didn't want the little face on there. And sprinkle those around. And then I will, to add a little bit of color into this, go through and stamp some stars in, I think, honey is what it was. So so here are those stars that I was talking about. There was just a couple of stars in here that I figured I needed a little bit of color in this. And since I wasn't bringing in that orange with the drop shadow or anything, I figured, okay, a little bit of stars wouldn't hurt. Now, this is kind of where I go rogue, and I wanted to put some pumpkins down in the below. I didn't quite want the stamped pumpkins, so I was like, well, let me just doodle these and see how it goes and use my alcohol markers. And yeah, maybe if I would have used less bright orange colors, The alcohol markers tend to be very bright, very bold. I would have maybe liked it more, but I didn't like it at all. Alright, and last but not least, just some drop shadows. I did end up adding a little box over there for stats on just YouTube numbers and Instagram numbers that I kind of have been just keeping track of. And that is me pretty much wrapping this up. So I'm going to throw you back into a real time. And yeah, I'm just seeing if I need a few more things. But yeah, back into real time. Okay, so again, this is another spread that I don't know if I should do more of, less of. For some reason, my gel pens, oh, well, that's writing better over there. Maybe it just needed time to dry a little bit more. I'll just keep on going over them. Eventually, it will turn white. But I love it. For the most part, I love it. So far we're doing well. As you've seen, I think in the video, I tried to do a little bit of pumpkin down here. I think that if I'm going to leave it black, it needs to stay black with just like little pops maybe. And just leave it there. The orange was like directly making your eye go towards that. So I just covered it up. And then these two will get put together. So I just use a little bit of score tape and put these two together. Nothing crazy. You've seen me do this before where I've like made a mistake or my stamps have went through, especially on my peony spread where I was just trying stamps in this. So if you are wanting to stamp and really do a lot of like markers, this is not the journal for you. It is a cheaper journal for B5. It is a cheaper journal for B5, but it cannot take ink that well. I thought it was going to be a little bit better, but it just doesn't take that well. And then I'm going to cut this one out, but as you can see, I used it for scrap paper. Always save your extras for scrap paper because they come in handy. So, all right, there we go. And then I have my number totals over here for social media, and I'm going to start filling in my monthly, and we will get one weekly done out of the way here in a few minutes. I just have to decide what I kind of want to do. And yeah, and keep it that way. So loving it. Let me know how you guys feel.